There are profitable items that you could be leaving behind if you stick with the numbers. I'll show you what I sold. We'll also take a look at a couple of items that I recently sold and how I packaged them up.
I found a stack of records in my attic today, an Elvis picture disc and Kenny's big old hay. Put 'em up on eBay for the day was done. Watch the bids roll in till the morning sun.
Welcome everyone to the video. Welcome to the channel. Things are looking a little different here. We're going to do a couple of videos on packing. We will get to what sold a little bit later, but I filmed a couple of videos. It's going to kind of go in reverse. I already pre-packed them, so I'll show you how I packed them and what I used and all that. Oh, before I forget, like the video, hit thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. And I'm trying to remember what I put in here. I'm pretty sure this is a mug, and I put something else in a poly mailer. I filmed these last week. If it sounds a little bit weird, I didn't realize I filmed them when I did the audio. It was just in, if you only hear it out of one speaker, I made a mistake. So I should have filmed it in stereo. I did not. But nonetheless, you'll used to get to see it. You'll get to hear it. And I might drop in with some commentary. No whiskey tonight, just ice water. There was no hospital duty today for me because today's Monday for me. No hospital duty this week at all. I was not needed, so that's great. Just been spending this time cleaning up. I had an early dinner, and I had chile verde, and it is like it's killing me. It's so good, but man, my heartburn. So just ice water for this evening. If I would have drank some whiskey, it would have been worse. Okay, well, let's just jump right into it, and I'll show you the packing here. If I remember correctly, this is a mug, and I describe everything in the video, so I might, pop in with my own, with my own commentary on my own video if it's needed. But let's just sit back and watch. We have a couple minutes here. Okay, here we go. Oops, I'm going to the wrong thing. Gotta hit this one, and let's go. So I was just packing up this mug, and I figured maybe I should just make a video really quick of showing you the packing process for, fragile items. This is a bit of a taller mug, so this is not going in a 6x6 box that I typically sell mugs in because of its height. So this is in one of my I call this my hat box, but it's just a versatile box. I use it for hats, but I use it for a lot of things. 975 box. So as you can see, I got quite a bit of room around the actual mug here, and I filled in all the space with. I'll wrap it back up, but I'm gonna unwrap it just to show you. As you can see, roughly, about an inch around, and here's the mug here. I actually have it wrapped just like 2 times on one side and kind of got a little bit of single bubble wrap there, but ultimately what's really going to save this is the fact that there's packaging paper, and packaging paper is cheaper than bubble wrap. I get bubble wrap fairly cheap, but you've heard me say that in many videos. However, even cheaper is paper. The paper is cheaper than the bubble wrap, so I'd much rather use I'd much rather use paper than bubble wrap. So, and I've been sending mugs like this and fragile items like this off, quite often. And it's a mug. I mean, if it was something a little more fragile, maybe some figurines or something with little arms dangling off of it, and maybe I'll do more bubble wrap or so. But for mugs, this is just it's not a typical mug. It has like a little handle where you kind of warm your hands, kind of hold it like this, and you tuck your fingers in it. But we have a nice little bed of bubble wrap, paper on the bottom. As you can see, a good amount right there. There's like my, what is that? Maybe about an inch, close to an inch right there of packaging paper on the bottom. And basically you're just building a nest. I'll fill that all around and then put another layer on top. And the top layer, let me just bring the top layer over here. You can see the top layer, about yay thickness or so on the top layer. So, and that's it. And this is the, this is the box, these boxes here, let me show here. These boxes here are about close to double the thickness here than Amazon. It's probably a little bit less than double, But Amazon uses incredibly thin. You can't even see this little wave in the middle on Amazon boxes. It's just so, it's so thin. But on these boxes I get, as you can see, you can actually see that wave. It's almost about double the thickness of Amazon boxes. And these are from Uline too, these boxes. I get all my boxes. I get pretty much all my boxes. Yeah, I do. I get all my boxes from Uline. I'm just double checking in my mind. All right. Hope this helps out. And I will post this. This will be in a video. I'm going to have this in a, yeah, I was thinking of posting a short on it, but I'm just going to put this in a video, long video.
All right, pretty cool there. Let's go ahead and let's jump into the next one. Let me see. Hopefully this should just work. Let's see here. Yes.
Okay,
perfect.
here is another one.
Yet. Hold on. Okay. See if I can adjust the audio here on the. Oh, it's already at 100%, so that's good. Okay. Okay, let's jump into this other one, and if I remember, okay, I think this is a tile or a trivet, if I remember correctly. So this is going to a padded poly mailer. And so this is showing the bubble wrap, like actual bubble, like, guys talk about the bubble wrap I use, but here I'm actually showing you.
Okay, and here is another one that we're going to wrap. This is a cross. You want to see it at the end. I'm going to unravel it, and then you'll see what it looks like there. I made a mistake there. So we have...
Let me reverse it. I'll reverse that. Hold on. All right, let's go. Okay, we'll leave the mistakes in the video. I won't mess with it.
Okay, and here is another one that we're going to wrap. This is a cross. You want to see it at the end. I'm going to unravel it, and then you'll see what it looks like there. So we have 6 layers of bubble wrap on this. Now, if you are spending money on bubble wrap at Walmart, Target, wherever, it might get a little pricey. It's going to get. You have to buy your bubble wrap at a good price. Check if you're small time seller, nothing wrong with it. Look on Amazon. Get a better deal on it. You'll get good deals on Amazon. Once you get big enough, then you got to order large supplies of this. The more quantity you buy, the better the price gets. So that's why I use a lot of bubble wrap, and especially I ship a lot of things you wouldn't think can go in poly mailers. But let me show you. So here's one. Unwrap that. There's the other layer there. So it's 6 total layers is what it is. It's not necessarily 6 pieces, but, it covers it 6 times around. What is it? What is it? What is it?
Ceramic cross.
It's a cross. Made in Mexico.
Terracotta.
You see it right there. It's nice, rich purple color. Nice colors on that. Really cool. I put the packaging paper on the inside. It's a wall pocket, actually. There's the mounting area there. But it's a little cross wall pocket. Really, really cool. And you can ship pottery, you can ship glass in poly mailers. It depends on the shape. And, there's not really any, if there's anything like coming off of this, breakable areas that are that could be compromised, I would potentially put those in a box. This here, it's pretty well made. It's a nice thick, you can kind of see, nice thick, what do you call it? Terracotta. It's made of terracotta. And then I put I put 1 strip in there. You want to put like 2 or 3 strips, because if someone's going to take it out, it might, they might have a tough time taking it out. So just 1 strip, and you just kind of pack as much as you can in there. And there it is, really cool. So I'm going to wrap it right back up. This is the poly mailer it's going to go into right here, and I'm going to put it, vertical or horizontal, however you look at it. And then I'm going to fold it in half as well too, to make it a nice small little package. That will also add additional protection on it as well too. Remember, you're trying to create a nice pillow for these items. And yeah, you can ship pottery, you can ship glass and padded poly bags. It just depends on the type of item, the shape of the item. So yeah, pretty cool. So, and we'll get that out of here soon.
All right, pretty cool. Let me close that out, and then I'll pause the video and reset my camera and everything. So give me 1 second. All right, welcome back. We're good to go again. So let me know what you think. Like I've said, I ship a lot of things in poly mailers. This past weekend, a lot of stuff went in poly mailers. Every weekend it seems to be different. Like this weekend, it'll be just a bunch of poly mailers. And then next weekend it'll probably be, everything will be in boxes. So it just kind of, I prefer poly mailers because they're easy, quick, easy to pack stuff up, easy to just throw inside a large cart and take them right over to the post office. But some things go on polymer, some things don't, and there's a couple examples there of a boxed item and a polymailer item. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I've been doing this for quite some time, and sometimes when it comes to packing, there's a comfort that you need to develop with packing items. I know a lot of people. I think it's one of the biggest struggles that a lot of people have is packing. And one thing that kind of holds them back is like, how am I going to get this item to the customer once they buy it? And so, it's tough, and there's a comfort factor, and I find packing kind of it's not the part that I like the most of all this, but there is sort of like an art form to it. There is sort of a when I'm packing, it's kind of just get into a routine and a little bit meditative type of state that I get into when I'm packing. And so I like it when an item is packed nice and neat, and I finally have and the person gets it and everything gets there safe and all that. So I take pride in the packing. But there's definitely one part that I would give up, if I really wanted to. Okay, but let's go ahead and just notice this little thing on my audio wasn't. Hopefully I don't mess up the audio too much. Let me just keep this where it is for now. Okay. But let's go ahead and get to the what sold. I have my Jurassic Park shirt on. We did see Jurassic Park this past weekend, and it's a wait to come out on streaming is what it is. Don't just wait for it. No need to go see it in theaters or waste your money unless you really, really want to. If you saw the trailer, you pretty much saw all the great parts of the movie. Okay, so we're going to start off with Tidy Whities. So they still sell. Obviously, they got to be brand new. Now, the Goodwills in our area do this thing where, I don't know, I'm assuming they open up packs of underwear and they hang them individually because they don't take donations for used underwear. So they have, brand new underwear, on a hanger with clips hung like where the shorts are at. And my assumption is that they're just breaking open packs of underwear and putting them up there like that. It's if they are vintage underwear, I would prefer them in the package so that way I can buy them and sell them as opposed to selling individual, things of underwear, which, they don't have tags or anything on them. So, I'll be a little sus trying to do that. But either way, if you find them brand new in the package, they sell pretty well, especially the vintage stuff. $20.84 is what this pack sold for, and $6.57 is what they paid in shipping. This went in a non-padded poly bag, so just threw it in a poly bag and went on its way. So definitely keep your eye out for underwear. Men's underwear seems to do the best. So as far as underwear goes. Either way, let's move on. And Tim Hortons is where we're going to move on to. And these Tim Hortons, they do really, really well. My assumption is because we don't have Tim Hortons here in the United States. And maybe people have visited Canada and they really enjoy Tim Hortons. I believe it has a cult following. And, people still want their stuff. And the merch sells. So we have a little tumbler here, reusable plastic tumbler. And it sold for nothing crazy. $12. I'm going to turn this fan off. $12.21 is what it sold for. $6.57 is what they paid in shipping. This went into a padded poly bag. And like you saw in the video, I wrapped it a few times in bubble mailer before I sent it on its way. Cups dripping everywhere. Before I sent it on its way. So really, really cool. Tim Hortons, look out for it. I sold a mug not too long ago as well too, so definitely look out for Tim Hortons. Okay, now this item here, if you're looking at the data and you listen to everybody that's talking about, sell-through rate, follow the data, follow the numbers, this is one you would leave behind. Yes, there are a few listed of this. Although the listings are kind of odd because the where you see Chalo, I believe is how you pronounce it, the and sign and co, they have it all smashed together as one word, which I don't know why they would do that. But if you separate it out, you can't find anything on it. And I like the imagery. Is the reason why I picked it up. Subject matter, subject matter, subject matter matters. And so I believe that's really what got this item sold. As you can see, using the appropriate keywords here. And I probably could have put, I believe that's Mount St. Helen. I believe this is from Mount St. Helens in Washington. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about here. St. Helens. Yes, it's in Washington. So I believe that's what it's depicting here. I probably could have used that in there, but obviously I used Washington, Pacific Northwest. Just a really cool image, it was very, very clean. I saw it at a Goodwill, and I was like, you know what? I know that would sell. That sixth sense, that feeling, that gut feeling I get. It's just something that you just develop over time. You just grow beyond the numbers. You grow beyond the, looking at the data and, I can't really say it any more better than saying the sixth sense of for selling things, for identifying items that you can sell. And, obviously you got to have a good title, people are searching for these things. You got to put words in there that people are searching for. You got to take great pictures. So there's a lot that goes into it, but eventually it just becomes routine, and just second nature. So this is one of those items where if you follow the data, you would leave it behind, and you would be leaving behind profit. And how much did we sell this for? I know this went into a large padded poly bag. And here we go. $32. Sold for $32, and $8.58 is what they paid in shipping. So large padded poly bag is what this went into. I sold a Coach purse for less than this one. It wasn't a very desirable Coach purse. It was a small one, but I sold a Coach purse for less money than this thing. So pretty cool thing. You could be leaving money behind, and I hope I'm helping you being able to help you in identifying items that you can resell. Okay, I thought this was coming up later in the thing, but how many do I have? I hope I did 5. Did I not do 5? Let me double check. Hold on just really quick. Hold on. I gotta figure out where my cursor is. Hold on. Okay, I do have 5. I just wanted to make sure I had 5 in here because I was like, wait a second. I thought these two things were at the end. Okay, so another one. This is a t-shirt that if you looked at the data, if you went onto eBay and searched for this, it's going to give you nothing. It's actually going to give you a patch is what it's going to give you. But there's no other clothing items associated with this. Vintage NASA Sophia, I believe I'm pronouncing that properly. And you can see the stratospheric observatory plane, men's XL vintage shirt. I spotted this at the bins. I just so happened to, I don't look at clothing, really look at clothing at the bins. But I just happened to glance back and I saw all the, everybody there, all the t-shirt bros, they're just going through the clothes, picking out clothes and everything. And I just happened to look in that direction, and I saw that, the plane with the Earth there in space. I'm like, whoa, what is that? I just reached behind me and I grabbed it and threw it in my cart. And it was a great pickup, and it's a very fast seller too. Sold within a matter of, I think it sold within a day. It sold very fast though. I listed it and it sold quickly. I priced it just right. It didn't sell within an hour or a few minutes. It took a little bit to sell, but it sold for $36.82 is what it sold for. $8 even is what they paid in shipping. And this went in a non-padded poly bag. So almost $40 for this t-shirt. Really, really cool. And again, if you follow the numbers, if you follow the data, if you're just looking everything up, you're not going to find this, so you're going to throw it back. And you're throwing back nearly $40 is what you're throwing back. And I think $40 is really, really good for just an average old t-shirt, right? In my opinion, $40 is almost $36 is great for a t-shirt. So I just looked back, and then everybody else was going after looking for concert shirts or whatever, and I saw this on there, and I just snatched it right away. And we have a $36 sale, quick $36 sale as well too. So fast sell through rate. My feelings on that, but if you listen to all the gurus out there, fast sell through rate. So $36, really cool, really, really cool. So keep your eye out for this stuff. How did I know? Okay, I should probably do a little bit more explaining than that. But I'm looking at it. I see the airplane. I see the airplane in space. And that's what attracted me to it, was the outer space aspect of it. And then once I got it, I was able to read it, realize it was associated with NASA. So there's a lot of people out there that collect NASA things. And of course, I looked it up, and I was like, oh, there's nothing out there. So, but that didn't deter me. That kind of was like, you know what? I bet you there's someone out there that is, either was involved with this project, or there's some NASA person out there that is looking for something unique and cool. These are all the thoughts that are running through my brain. Like, when I see it, it's like, like a spinning, what do you call it? What are those little machines? I can't even think right now. Can't even think right now. Either way, my brain, all these things are running through my brain right now. And not right now, but when I was picking this up, all these things are running through my brain. And I'm like, who thinking of the potential customer that would be out there looking for this piece. And of course, I'm looking at the, if it was chewed up and holy and everything, I looked at the armpits and everything, I probably would have left it behind. But it wasn't. It was in great shape. It still had the lines from being folded. So my assumption is this has never been worn. Don't have to worry about any dry rot or anything like that, because it is a white shirt. And it was just a cool, just the logo. This is the back of the shirt, by the way. The front of the shirt just had the Sophia name on the front. But those are all the things that are running through my brain when I saw this item, and I was going through it, just checking it for, damage, and trying to identify a potential customer. And I was like, I'm just throwing it in the cart. Really, really cool. And plus, you get it at a bins price. And for us, bins prices are a little bit more expensive than others. But nonetheless, $36 sale. So really, really cool. Not all NASA is going to do really well. There's a lot of NASA stuff out there. So the more unique NASA pieces you can find, I think can do really well. And obviously, do the analysis in your brain. And sometimes you can kind of identify items by, okay, maybe NASA isn't the right word. Maybe I look up Sophia. Maybe I look up, the stratospheric observatory plane and see what that brings up as well too. So the different little pieces here you can kind of look up to try to see if there's any demand out there. And then if there is none, which I was like, oh, there is really no demand here for this type of item, then I just kind of got to go off gut and instinct and just my history of selling things. So I hope that helped. Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below, what you think. What you think of this pickup, and, what you think of my thoughts on it. And have you ever picked up anything that with no data to support its sale, but yeah, it still sells? Okay, this was really cool. Now, here's another item that as well did not have any type of, there was no data, no nothing to support its sale. There's no brand name, no nothing like that. Just a handcrafted piece here. But what this had going for it, first, it's a Damascus steel, and you could tell by this pattern here. So the Damascus is a what do you call it? It's the way they craft the blade by folding it. I don't know the whole thing, but they constantly fold the metal, fold the metal. I think you have to use 2 different types of metal, and they just keep folding it and folding it. Then you got to put in some sort of an acid wash to bring out this type of pattern. It's, you know, and then some craftsmen are really craftsmen, some steel workers, or what would you call them? What do you call like the forgers, or I enjoyed that show. What do you call it? Forged in Fire. That was pretty cool. So what do they call them? Forgers or knife makers. They could get really, really good with this and actually develop, you know, through the whole process, they can come out with a pattern that they like. They want to. They have a certain pattern in their mind, and they can actually, you know, but through the folding of the metal, and they can come out with it with the specific pattern they're looking for. It's not random, although sometimes it's random. Sometimes it looks random to me, actually. But then again, I never tried to forge a blade, so I don't know. But either way. A really, really cool piece here. I know what it is. Damascus steel knife. Has a really cool, this is a little decorative pin right here. And then this is a hole for a lanyard. So it's kind of a no-name, but well crafted knife. A very, very nice. And generally, Damascus knives are well crafted. I think there's a certain skill level that is, you know, required to accomplish this. And it was just a really nice small knife. And it didn't sell very fast. Took a few months to sell, but nonetheless, it finally sold. And what did it sell for? It sold for $32, $30 even. $6.84 what they paid in shipping. Small padded poly bag. Of course, I used additional bubble wrap for this, especially because the blade, it was really sharp. I don't think it's ever been used for anything, but it was razor sharp. Just a really cool little knife. And again, you know, Damascus steel does, you know, really well. You guys got to get, you know, you got to get the good pictures. You got to get the keywords going there. You know, the bigger the knife, the better. But there's still a market for these smaller knives. So really, really cool. And so if you see Damascus steel, it's definitely worth a second look, depending on the price. Because usually when you see, if you see it out there, like a flea market or wherever, yeah, they're gonna have it priced up. Like, they know what they have. Like, if unless it's just a random, you know, storage locker type of seller who's just trying to, you know, get rid of everything, sell everything off. But the majority of people that I see that have knives, they know exactly what they have. Or they'll just have knives and they'll automatically assume it's gonna be they're gonna assign a higher price to it. But really, really cool piece. Definitely keep her out for them. And obviously, the bigger the better. The bigger the knives, the better it's going to be. All right, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down. That's pretty sure it's the end. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think of everything. The packing, the what sold, Jurassic Park if you saw it. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.